Welcome back to Factorio MSX Gigabase. So I have run through and changed all of these recipes and changed the requester boxes for something sensible for these formulas, but I don't know if we can actually feed 66 machines with all the steel in particular, maybe the red circuits, but with all the steel in particular. Enough material to actually support 66 machines. So these are sped up 11 times. Even if they weren't, let's just say that they're running at 1 a second. So that's 600 steel per machine per second. 600. Is that right? So 10 by 60 seconds in a minute, 600 per machine per minute, 66 machines. That's 40,000 steel. Steel is only unloading with 3 inserters at the moment. We'd probably have to have 12 inserters to move it fast enough. I mean, not necessarily. If you divided that by 60, so it's 660 a second, basically. We can get about 27 off an inserter a second, I believe. So that would be, you would need 24. We actually have enough inserters, but that's assuming that the trains teleport in and out instantly, which they don't, of course. They pull up and then they pull in and pull out. So yeah, we're not going to be supplying these quite as quickly as that, but I don't think it really matters that much. Oh, and you'll notice we are launching. We can quickly pop down to the silo. We are doing launches at the moment of the dry dock structure component. There's only 13 more on board, but there's some in storage. There's like 30 odd in storage, is it? Or is it 28 now? Maybe it's... oh, it's hard to say. 11 plus... actually, I think I've got a count here somewhere. 40. So 40 plus 11. Does that make sense? Not sure. But yeah, there's some more launches. So obviously the building of more of these is going to probably slow down a little bit. These things are probably going to be a little bit tested. Silo fuel. And processing units are being absolutely hammered. Not quite sure why Yellow Science is still on the list. Maybe it's still trying to rebuffer up a little bit. Though they're sitting there, so I don't really know if it needs it or not. Excuse me. So yeah, 112. This will take it up to 160 when those launches finish. But what we need to do is come down over here. So I think we only need 25 of the protection fields. Oh, good grief. I do not wish to unload into... I don't want to change the formula on this one. I don't want to try and collect billions and have to pick it all up. How about... we do have some of those. How about we do something like that? Then give this all my bots so I don't have to do anything. And then tell it to pick that one up. That was much better than me doing it. Right. You can be building SpaceX protection fields. All you need is Mark II who's-he-what's-its, Mark II protection fields. Okay. Take it all back, thanks. And we'll take all that. No, I don't think 5,400 is going to work very well. How about we just make it 50? Now, these guys, that's not too bad. We can change you to be making the Mark II energy shield. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. That will be fine. And 337 is probably more than we need. 10 and 10, yes. So that's probably perfectly adequate. So yeah, 6 machines if we can make it work. Now, this one here, rather, this one, before we get too far down the track of making these guys, let's set up the controller to limit what gets built, which is basically something I don't have much room for anymore. I'd like these guys not to be here. Ooh. Okay. That did the bulk of it. Alright, so that's good. Alright, so it's the same sort of thing as we have done before. We are going to need at least 1, maybe 2 of those. We are going to need a constant combinator, if I have any left. It's not looking that promising. That's a train counter. No, I do not appear to have any. I'm pretty sure I have some on the engineering train though. I haven't had to use them that often, but I am pretty sure I do have some on it. So let's head over there. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. Alright. I don't need the constant combinator that I have deployed for the robo ports anymore. We don't need that controller, so I can pick that one up and reuse it on the Mark IIs. Now the only thing is, I think I would actually like to make sure this doesn't try and build more, so how about we do our old our old trick. do. Oh yes, I do. I've only got 35 though. Okay. Let's just get rid of all of the combinators before they try and do something that we don't want them to. So this arrangement is kind of what we want. Hopefully I can remember what all that was, or something fairly similar to it. It's not all that complex really. All this junk we're going to have to do something with though. So a combinator, so we are going to need 25 of these things. 25, and we're going to need to turn it into a single pulse. So if this guy is eaches multiplied by -1, and it outputs eaches, because this is a very simple way of doing that. And this one is a copy onto yourself. Let's use a bit of green, say, copy onto yourself. You can be turned off first of all while we set this up. So green to the beginning, a red wire to the end, and to this one. And when we turn this on, that should store a 25, and it does, and this should basically be cancelling itself out. So now all we need is another little arithmetic combinator. This one is basically another multiply by -1, and we will pick up the pulse generation. From here. Read hand contents pulse gets multiplied by -1, so that will count down, and this one here let's use red, I guess, can come directly to here. And we'll stop loading as soon as, so enable, disable, basically when protection fields are greater than 0. So at other times we will cease. And over here it doesn't matter, they can load up whenever they like. So we've got our controller in place. We shouldn't end up overproducing these, because unless you're doing multiple launches of SpaceX rockets and on extreme mode, I'm not intending to do that. There is no need, and yes, you can see how this is sort of, let's just have a quick look. It's kind of probably slowing down a little bit in terms of its ability to launch. Oh, the train has already left, but we still have 4 that don't have homes at the moment. So they're probably struggling somewhat, especially with low density structures required for the launches. Oh no, we don't have 4, that's satellites that we have 4 of. These guys have none, so there probably is some... Oh. 3 here, which will take it to 159. Then 1 of these, maybe? Ah, right there. So when this one's done, that will be the final one in that batch. And we can also have a look at how the building is going. It probably hasn't progressed very far. 12, that's not too bad. That's actually better than I thought, because it's probably sharing duties. So, yeah. The low density structures to the silo and to here are struggling to keep up a little bit, along with the processing units. That's interesting. It's loading up in the middle, and this one down here has tons, so it really should. I'm going to have to put in a circuit to force it down here, but yeah, that is alright. Okay, so back to work over here. We can actually set this up now, let it go. It won't run specially fast. How are they going? They look like... Oh, both silos are short of low density structures at this point. Let's just have a quick look at the low density structure. That one, there's none sitting here, so I mean that's the main thing. They obviously can't respond to these outstanding requests if there's none actually in here, but this one hopefully will get there fairly soon. And I'm not really intending to speed up the build of low density structures. We'll see how well we can manage with our what's that? It's a low density structure pulling in to fill up. We'll see how well we can manage with our ability to launch 6 satellites a minute. Means that we can produce about 4,200, a bit more, close to 4,300 I guess, low density structures a minute, and that will have to do. It might be stressed on some of the components. We'll see we'll see when we get there, I guess. So this guy will pull in and pretty much pull off immediately. Off to silo LDS1. And it immediately has come back in. So there you go. It looks like we might need more coal. Maybe not. I did actually add another crude oil train in down here, and another one in... no, I didn't add another one in here. I'm kind of monitoring how this one's going. There's oil trains waiting there, so it should have just picked up that guy. Maybe it was going to anyway, not sure. Anyway, that's by and by. This one here, I guess we should rename it now to Protection Field Red, and this one to Protection Field Steel. Actually, let's put in a U to stick with our naming convention for a station that's intended to be an unloading station. And order. So we're not using batteries anymore, we're using red circuits. This one we are using red circuits, and that is generating a P. It's probably not enough. We have, those are normal lamps. Do we have any train publishers? We've got a bulk load of them down there. So that needs a red wire from there to there. Trains on the way, less than P. And we are ordering red circuits. Now, this one, steel, we need a train counter. I don't have any. Let's build one. A train counter, a train publisher, and red from there to there to there. Trains on the way, less than P. Let's order from Big Bro Steel, which I think is S. Oh, P-1. Ah, right, yeah, we've got tons of steel in the network already, so we don't actually need to order one of those. but we do have a red circuit train on the way. So this one here, these guys need not to be ordering construction bots, but instead they need to be ordering energy shields in the amount of, I'm not actually sure what these guys stack to. Let's put, say, 50 in each one. And now this is going to be slightly awkward, but we need to get rid of these construction bots. Yeah, that's quite a lot of construction bots. We don't really need them. Let's donate them to the Make Everything factory via the rubbish train. Let's put that there, but we will say let's keep 100. Mind you, we probably have 100 back down here anyway, but that's fine. Right, guys, take them away. Aha. Rubbish train's been called, so it should be getting rid of those very soon. Now, how has our component progressed in this time? Have we... it's basically just waiting on the red... There we go, red circuit train coming in as we speak. How many bots do we have here? 200. Are they going to be up to the task? Not entirely sure. Oh, we do not have any inserters. Let us sort that one out quickly. I may have gotten rid of too many of my inserters. That one can have 2 just because. In memory of what it once was. Very important little assembly machine. Building probably more construction robots than the entire rest of the factory in its entire life had to do. Now this side, same deal. It looks like I might have to run round my speed modules as well. Good, we have speed modules on board. Not that I really need these, because, I mean, as I mentioned before, I don't think we can actually support the unloading to do this, but... it looks cool. Pretending that we can. And good grief, we're almost out of speed modules, in fact. That's it. I might not even bother ordering the extras. Or will I? I don't think there's any on board this train. Do we have any anywhere else? Doesn't look like it. How many do I need? Probably 100 or so. No, I don't want 1.3k of them. That's 10, that's no good. Supply train. Oh, you've already got enough. That's fine. Alright. However many it's got, that'll be fine. And, how's this going? Oil in Southwest 2. Well, there is a train right here. There's the subscriber. I wonder... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I wonder if that's actually out of range of that subscriber, and just putting a few more of these subscribers down would fix my problem. What are these called? Crude Oil Southwest. So this is a list of all of the subscribers. We have a Crude Oil Southwest 14896. 14896. So it knows that it has a train here. Problem is with Lua, I don't think I can use like this as an index in a table, because then when you try and read, like the index can only be one field. It's kind of one of the crappy things about Lua that annoys me when I'm used to superior, well, I'm used to like proper software rather than Lua. So I mean, Lua is great for modding, obviously, given the sorts of mods that we have, but it's a pretty weak database if it has to have only one index, so the only other way is to troll through the entire field, the entire table from beginning to end, rather than just jumping straight to the index. And the problem is, of course, that I need to allow for multiple stations with the same name, potentially multiple trains, so it doesn't end up working as an index. Anyway, has it found it yet? No. Alright, let's give it a nudge. So arriving is like an event that triggers the whole processing of these requests, and so that's why I do that. But obviously I need to sort that out in a better way than that for the ongoing, well, before I can make this kind of public, I guess. We can't really say, yeah, well, you know, if your trains don't come out, then go around and push them out yourself. It's kind of silly. Anyway, not to worry. How are we going? Have we actually started building any of these things? Do I have commands set up on this train properly yet? Probably not, because I wasn't even thinking of that. So, what do we actually need for these guys? I haven't even thought of... Oh, look at that. That one must have been full. So I guess it's about 8,000. These are working. They're working because we have a whole lot of these. We've got 50,000 of those. We need 10 per each of these and we need 1600 of those per one of these. So 1600 times 10 is 16,000. We will actually use up all of these processing units and then need more. That number is going up quite quickly though. That's very exciting. We can't launch any. We're not going to be able to launch any until the dry dock structure component is complete. But this is a nice start. So what we need to do then is come down here and I guess re-enable this thing. It is kind of handy that they keep using the same trains on the way is less than P. I keep reusing the same components over and over, so there. It's not ordering any because it doesn't need them at the moment, but it will in a bit. Yeah, we keep reusing the same stuff because we basically chose the most expensive stuff, which is modules and processing units and maybe, you know, a few other things. Since in this particular case we're working off vanilla, what aren't normally intermediaries are being turned into intermediaries, and yeah, so it uses a lot of processing units. Because we're using so many of them. 16,000 processing units per times 25, that's about 400,000 processing units, which incidentally is how much you need for one of those. So yes, the fusion reactor is a right proper pain to build. Never mind. So anyway, what I might do is pause the episode here, because we've done our build up to getting this guy sort of able to generate milestone, where, oh good grief, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and sort out processing units with a little bit of circuitry. It should be fairly easy. It's certainly something that we need to do. It's possible that we will need to freeze the module production. Do I have processing units? Little stop. That's prod modules. Let me just have a look if there is one. In fact, yes there is. It's called hashtag PU. So let's go to hashtag PU. Circuit condition, let's go. And while we're traveling, we can have a look at the dry dock structure component, see if how well it's going. 23. We're certainly not going to keep this episode running until it gets back to the silo, but you know, that's 183 to tell you we'd smash through this request fairly quickly. We're not smashing through faster than light theory A all that quickly, but I didn't really expect to. Maybe 25%. Hard to say. I might have to put that mod in that tells you the percentage of completion. Or even build it into, maybe it should be built into SpaceX in the GUI, just show you how far through you are on the tech research. On the other hand, things like that, I'll tell you what this percentage is at least. Things like that can, I mean, anything like that drains a little bit of UPS, so we don't really want that. How is all of this stuff going? Trains 4.5, that's a bit high. Entities 16.7. My mod occasionally jumping up to about almost 0.4. I haven't seen an actual 0.4, but it did jump to about 0.39, a bit higher than I would like. That's the other part of potentially releasing it. It needs to be more efficient. More efficient. Never mind. Things I can work on after this playthrough has been completed. So, this is Circuit Alley, I believe. Yes, it is. Do we have a clear run through down here? It's not too bad. What's that? Oh, sulfuric acid. At least we're not completely out there yet. Yep. Here we come. To our engineering stop. Right. So, what I need to do is basically... let's see. Oh, that's measuring this line only. Right. Okay. So I could connect up to all of these, which in fact I already do. That's handy. We already connect them all up. But we're using it in a manner, we can't do both, you can't, so we are setting requests. I am going to have to say read contents. Now, are they all still set? Yes, they are. This thing can go away then. Oh. No, I can't. Read contents. Right, that's got a 2. Let's just run down there, and is that what we want? Is that how much this thing can take? 4,000. So actually, no, that's not. We don't want 2,000. We want probably 6 of them 48, 6 sevens are 42. We want about 700 on each one, I would say. It's easier for it to distribute 700 evenly than having to find sort of 12,000 for each collection. Then, so that's, alright, let's keep going with the green wire theme. We need a medium, a big pole actually. Big pole over here. We don't need wire on it. Let's just put green wire. And this one is the way in. Basically, that needs 32k. Alright, so close signal when blue is less than 32,000. So now it's shut. So that will force them to come down to here a little bit more often. I could make it cleverer than that, but at the moment there's tons and tons in here and there's not so much up here. So I mean, the other thing we could do is just read that and say, well, that's got to be greater than 0, because at the moment it would be reading negative, and that might be easier than reading all the way along there. But if this does get to 30, would it get to 32k? 700. 842, but yeah, it should do. It should get to 35k even. So 32k, 35k. 84s are 30. No, 33k 600. That's what it should get to. But yeah, that until this actually gets to that point, it should direct traffic down here. If it does get to that point, it's fine to fill up this at this one, and that means the slot can shut down, which is probably helpful for some of our resources as well. So that's that one. Let's quickly zoom back over to here, where we have 1.5 thousand sitting in the machine. I think we need 1.6 thousand for one. Yes. This is filling up. If we run back here, we might actually get to see one of these guys get built. What's in that? Interesting. Yeah, so the circuitry is gradually getting smashed by our production, which means this should be ticking up to 37,000. Let's go back to dry dock assembly, see if we get there before the first one gets built. If we are even able to get out of here. Is that yes, that is. Is it going to go down here? No, it's not, because that's still sitting at 27,000. So as desired, it has come down to the one that has, you know, like 152,000 sitting in storage. Perfect. Now we'll kick this one off and we'll get oh, this is not exactly what I had in mind though. Where are, oh, we're already underway. I might have to go back and fix that. Oh, this thing is probably done. There, it's in the middle of building the very first one. So, I don't actually think there's any great need for us to be here. 24 to go, one has been built. That is perfect. I think on that note, I'll end the episode. Thanks for joining me. I look forward to seeing you in the next. And bye-bye for now.